In A Song of Ice and Fire, a very common theme that seems to take place is that characters get broken down, beat down, and reduced to nothing right before they're given a helping hand. In this video, I want to focus on the aspect of Theon Greyjoy being the champion of the Drowned God. Super congratulations to A.S. Carter, you won the $50 Amazon gift card, and to claim your prize, all you have to do is message me on the back end of my YouTube channel or send me a message on Twitter. I announced the winner yesterday on Twitter as well, so go ahead and do that so you can claim your prize. I am also having another giveaway for a $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter this contest, and the winner will be chosen on March 13th. All you have to do to enter this contest is slap a like on this video, make sure you're subscribed, go ahead and leave a comment down below, then turn your notifications on so that way you get alerted every single time I drop a Game of Thrones video throughout this long night. Also, check out the gleam.io link pinned in the top comment of this video to enter all the different bonus ways. Now, there are so many different aspects when it comes to religion in A Song of Ice and Fire. One of the most common themes seems to be is that the main gods who may actually exist have a counterpart that basically does the exact opposite. And you can look at modern day religion, you have God and the devil. Now, a lot of that theme carries over into Game of Thrones. So the Drowned God actually has an opposite called the Storm King. Now, these two actually coexist with each other, and if one didn't exist, then the other one couldn't exist. The Drowned God takes residence underneath the sea, and in my opinion, he's kind of like the right way to go, because the Iron Islands follow him, so that means he must be the good guy in that sense. Then you also have the Storm King, who takes refuge up in the clouds and basically destroys Ironborn ships. They blame any sort of storm that knocks up their ships and basically makes it so that they cannot use them anymore. They blame that on the Storm King. Another perfect prime example of this is with R'hllor in the Great Other. R'hllor is everything life, fire, eternal sunshine, basically, and then you have the Great Other, who's the god of ice and death. Now, we have them showing off with Jon Snow and Daenerys being the champion of R'hllor, and then the Night King being the champion or the actual incarnation of the Great Other. A lot of people honestly think that Bran's magic is mixed up with that, but we're focusing on Theon in this video, so that'll be coming in a future part. You guys leave a comment down below if you want me to cover how I think Jon Snow and Daenerys are the champions of R'hllor. But anyway, the Ironborn, with their culture of reaping and rapaging, yep, that's a new word, but with their culture of the whole we do not sow, that basically means that they do not grow crops, they don't, take advantage of the land like most people do. How they get their food and how they survive is by stealing it from other people. So they made that their mantra by saying, we do not sow the fields, we do not grow our own food. Now, when you look at this in actual life, they're most commonly related to the Vikings. Now, there's a lot of misconstrued information about the Vikings. A lot of people think that their whole culture just went on raping and pillaging other lands, but that's not necessarily the case. There's actually artifacts and new research popping up all the time, basically discussing how the Vikings weren't as violent and as insane as we might have thought they were. I know that's kind of unrelated because we do know that as of yet, what we've seen on the TV show and in the novels, the Ironborn are mostly just a group of raping, savage individuals, but we do know that they're heavily intertwined with their religion, and maybe there's some stuff that's coming up in either Dream of Spring or in Winds of Winter or in the 8th season of the TV show that will show us a different aspect of their culture and religion, and will maybe shed some light, and we may start to look at them in a new way, just like how we are with the Vikings. Now, one thing that I will say now, and I will mention later on in this video about my predictions for Theon and Yara, but you will remember that when Yara first met with Daenerys, Daenerys made her promise that if she was going to ally herself with the Ironborn and Yara as their leader, Yara needs to promise her that they're going to stop raping and pillaging, and that maybe Daenerys will give them some land to start growing their crops on. So this kind of makes me think that if Yara dies and she doesn't continue as leader of the Greyjoy, and Theon does this, he will implement this new way of living, or this new lifestyle rather, that you don't necessarily have to go and take all of your needs and necessities from other people. You can in fact make them yourselves, and you can grow your own crops. You can sow your own fields. Now, this next part's going to contain a lot of tricky words for me to say because it's dealing in Norse mythology gods, so just bear with me. But the similarities between Norse mythology and the Drowned God are pretty prevalent. In Norse mythology, you have tales of various deities, beings, and heroes derived from numerous sources from both before and after the pagan period. One of the gods that most represents the Drowned God in Norse mythology is Njord. Now, like I said, I know I said that wrong, but he's a seafaring god among the Vanir and is associated with sea, seafaring, wind, fishing, and wealth. It is also said that he is supposed to have this predestined marriage that is bound to fail. Now, this god Njord is supposed to get with the goddess Scow, who is known for bow hunting, winter, and the mountains. Now, the reason why I wanted to include this little part of this connection with Norse mythology is the fact that if Theon is in fact the champion of the Drowned God, the fact that the Drowned God's direct relation with Norse mythology and the god Njord, it's kind of almost foreshadowing to the fact that Theon will marry Sansa. Now, I'm not a big fan of that theory, but there is a little bit of connection there. Now, the Starks are known for winter. That right there is a connection to Sansa, and honestly, I feel like the fact that this goddess, represents bow hunting in the mountains and stuff like that, that kind of fits Arya a little bit better, but we know that Theon and Arya are definitely not going to get together. Theon and Sansa, however, is a valid option because we do know that Theon rescued Sansa from Winterfell, and had it not have been for him, Sansa would likely be a tortured, baby pumping out, slave. It's just, Theon definitely rescued her. So that could be foreshadowing to the fact, and really the only thing that the goddess Scow has in common with Sansa is the fact that, they're the goddess of winter and Sansa is arguably the queen of winter. But then you also have the interesting connection of the mountains. Now, obviously Sansa hates the character of the mountain, but his brother, the Hound, has helped protect her. So that could be another sort of like loose connection, if you will, to Sansa and Theon getting married and it being foreshadowed in Norse mythology. Now let's get back on track here. We do know that all of our main focus points in the story, all the characters that we get to spend the most time with who have the most incredible journeys, they have some insane turning point that makes them realize their actual destiny. Now, for Bran, you could argue that him being pushed out of the window and him losing the ability to use his legs is what forced him to become a champion of the old gods of the north. Then with Jon Snow, you have him being killed by his own men and then being resurrected by R'hllor, making him the champion of R'hllor. You have for Daenerys, she was reborn in fire. That is literally the symbol for R'hllor. So that's why I think R'hllor, being one of the more powerful gods, is able to have two champions. Now for Theon, this journey is interesting and we have yet to finish seeing it fold out on screen. If you sort of like psychoanalyze the religion and the whole ceremony in which they drowned each other, they almost die, and then they're brought back by the drowned god, reborn anew, it's almost kind of like what Theon's been through. He's been through an actual real-life version of this religious practice that his religion does. So Theon starts off somewhat okay. He's in a strange land, and he's basically held as a hostage almost with the Starks, because we do know that Theon's father, Balon, actually had a failed rebellion against the Iron Throne, and for which Theon is taken as a hostage / ward to Lord Eddard Stark of Winterfell. So after all that said and done, Theon kind of grows up as a member of House Stark, and then if you remember, he ends up going back to his family, and they basically tell him, hey, you look all, frilly, you look like you're not one of us, you're a Northern man, you're a Stark, you might as well go back and fight with him. And Theon wants to convince his father to kind of go and join his side, but his father just does what fathers in Westeros at this time are famous for doing. Hopefully Jon Snow breaks that mold, but anyway, he just basically sends him off. He writes him off. He's like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with you. So this forces Theon to betray House Stark. Let me rephrase that. From an outside perspective, it's easy to be like, no, Theon screwed up, and that's why he has all of this terrible stuff happening to him, because he betrayed the Starks. And I've actually mentioned that in the video before, but in making this video, I think, and I brainstorm a lot on the character, and I realized I try to put myself in his position. If I was in his position, where I came back home after being gone for a long time, thinking everyone would be excited to see me, thinking like, oh man, I'm, as of right now, the next in line to rule this place. These people, I'm sure, have heard about me, and hopefully they'll start praising me. None of that happens when Theon gets there. He's hit with a huge brick of reality, and no one really gives a crap who he is. To be honest, I don't know if I'd be able to handle the amount of rejection that he gets, not only from the people of the Iron Islands, but also from his father. So when you look at it from that standpoint, no, I would not go and betray the Starks, but it would make me second guess and question, my past 10 years of my life. Like, what have I really been doing? Have I been following in the footsteps of others who have held the name Greyjoy? Am I doing what I should to 100% make my house rise up and become one of the greatest in the Seven Kingdoms? No. These are the kind of internal questions that Theon was asking himself when he first returned home to the Iron Islands. I honestly think that because of that, it was just too much. It was like all quick decision making. If he was given more of a chance, like if the War of the Five Kings wasn't happening and he was given more of a chance to kind of ponder a situation, I don't think he would have chosen his father's side in that fight to begin with. I think he would have stayed with House Stark. If he was given the amount of proper time to decide on his next actions, he may have gone back and joined the fight with Robb. Then Theon could have died on the battlefield or in the Red Wedding. But our boy Theon chose the path less traveled by, and this is where he ends up You remember, he ends up getting captured by Ramsay Bolton, who at that time, House Bolton was still loyal to House Stark. So they saw that, Theon was trying to betray House Stark, so this is why Ramsay captures him and cuts off his genitalia. Now, if you'll notice, this is another very common theme in George's novels, is that there are eunuchs present everywhere. Some of these eunuchs, Varys and Grey Worm included, have made basically the best of their situation. They are at the top of where they possibly could be, and there's not very much to rise. I think Theon has yet to do this. He has had his junk removed, but recently. Varys and Grey Worm have had it removed years ago, so they've had time to sort of deal with that and then, kind of forge their own path. Theon is in the process of doing so. Theon has been broken down on every single level, mentally, physically, and whatever type of astrological plane. Theon has been broken down on that. He is no longer a complete person. He's in the process of becoming something greater, but he has yet to do this. If you remember, at the end of season 7, he started out full swing into that journey, 100 miles an hour. He got beat down to near death and then was able to overcome that death and defeat his obstacle. That obstacle being the fact that this Greyjoy dude didn't want to go and rescue Yara, and they figured it was a lost mission because it's kind of like, there's no way we could get in there, go and save her, and get out. So Theon overcame that obstacle. And if you remember, he has a very interesting conversation with Jon Snow. From this conversation, we learn a whole bunch, but one of the main points I took away from that conversation is the fact that Jon does not forgive or forget Theon. What he does, however, is realize the situation they are in is dire, and that his past resentment for Theon, and most likely present resentment, because remember, he betrayed House Stark, and honestly, if Theon hadn't have basically handed Winterfell over to the Boltons, then, maybe we wouldn't have the bet. Anyway, Theon is reassured by Jon that he must do what he has to do, and that their father, Ned, would likely be proud of him for the choices that he has made, and I think that was more of like, for rescuing Sansa. But I think what this is this is a conversation from one champion of the gods to another. I see a very similar situation happening to when Yara tried to rescue him way back early on. I think instead, because if you remember, when Yara got there, Theon never went with her, and she realized that her brother Theon wasn't there. Theon, in those moments, was dead, and Reek was present. So Theon didn't leave with her. It's going to be a very similar situation, although it'll be opposite effects. When Theon goes to rescue Yara, Yara will die in that process, like physically die. This will leave him with the main task of defeating his greatest enemy. As of right now, his greatest enemy is his uncle Euron. I predict that Theon Greyjoy will go and try to rescue Yara, which is not really a prediction because everybody and their mama knows that, but the part of the prediction I think that I'm trying to make my own right here, that I'm theorizing on, is that once he rescues Yara, he won't die in trying to rescue her. She will, and then he ends up fighting Euron, defeats Euron, and then goes back and joins Jon Snow and Daenerys' army. Now, I know you're probably like, whoa, that's a little bit too happy. There's no way it's going to be that simple. Now, obviously, Theon's going to be wounded and injured, and it's going to be a little bit more drawn out, but not really, because remember, we only have 6 episodes left of this amazing TV series, so everything's going to kind of be, like, streamlined, and all of the fat and all that extra crap will be cut off, and we're just going to get to the main point. That main point being that Theon will become the actual champion of the Drowned God after he defeats Euron. Like, just like Sandor Clegane, the gods have a greater plan for Sandor, the gods have a greater plan for Theon. And I think Theon may actually survive our story and be one of the last characters still alive. It depends. I think it's going to be more like everyone after this final battle is going to be sort of half dead. But hear me out. For the champions of the gods, and like I said, I want to do other videos, one on Jon and Daenerys being the champion of R'hllor, and then another one on Bran being the champion of the old gods, and then eventually one on the Night King being the champion of the Great Other, or the actual incarnation of the Great Other. But I think they're going to attack from their specialty. So let's say we have Theon Greyjoy attacking from sea with his Ironborn Reavers after he's gone back and rallied all of Euron Greyjoy's troops behind him, so he'll be attacking from sea with the Greyjoy fleet. And then you have Jon Snow and Daenerys attacking literally in the physical plane with fire. Daenerys on the back of a dragon, maybe Jon Snow on the back of a dragon, but they're using fire to fight ice. Then you have Bran attacking the Night King or the Great Other in the metaphysical plane where they both have most of their powers present. Like Bran can do the most insane things in this Weirwood net. The Night King can, manifest those things in the present day, but so can Bran. I think the main thing is that the Night King has had more training. I'm just going to stop myself right there because if I mention any more of my thoughts on that theory, then there will be no point in me making more videos on it. So, if you guys want me to cover Jon and Daenerys as R'hllor next, make sure you leave a comment down below in the comment section. Also, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video, the like goal will be 420. And if you want to enter into this contest to win this $100 Amazon gift card, all you have to do to enter this competition is like this video, comment down below, subscribe, turn your notifications on, then check the gleam.io link pinned in the top comment in this video to go and enter all the different bonus ways. I want to give a super special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family. Those beautiful, wonderful people include Terry, Lise, Helen, Brian, Christian, Angie, Tizania, Chris, Fred, Nancy, Ann, Amberlyn, Beth, Rocketman, Dave Gray, Helena von Leinstein, Belladonna, Catertot, Juliet, Elder, Darton, Mel of Winterfell, John Barwick, Marilyn, Queen Moni, Debbie Whittington, Queen of Maine, King Wolf Dom, Sammy, Joe Swag, Lynn Shaw, Samantha Morris, Enid, and Angel. Without all of you all, these videos would not be possible, and if anyone watching would like to go and show your support to Sir Hunt's Review, since I am now full-time on YouTube, all you have to do is check the link right up here, or check the link down below in the description. My name's Mark, and I want to thank you all again so much for watching. This has been Sir Hunt's Review.